And you got me like, girl, what you.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On this day I had my beautiful client on my chair and join me while we create this look. First we have to clean the face and give it a very clean canvas because we want a good clean canvas to work on. So in doing that, I'm using the micellar water from Miss Metic. I applied that on a cotton pad. I made sure she already told me she had her face clean before coming in, but I need to make sure so the dirt we got out of her face. So because she has an oily skin, we're going to tone her face, and this is also going to leave her skin looking refreshed and also helps it to retain moisture on the skin. So using the Mismetic Rose Water Toner, I apply that on a cotton pad and just pat that in. So for more hydration, I'm going into the skin with my green tea, Kiss Beauty green tea setting spray. I just use my brush to blend that into the skin, and of course we want the skin more hydrated. I went into it with my Omari Code Dew serum. This is a water infused serum. This helps hydrate your skin. With this, your skin won't lack water. So next I'm going to be priming her brows because I want that part matte. So doing that, I'm using my Pond's oil control primer to prime that area. So I had too much on the brow area, so I'm just basically using my spoolie to take that out. So to control the oil around her T-zone, because she really excretes oil and sweat, so I just apply my Power Seal. This is like an oil control and sweat control tonic. I apply that on a cotton pad and just pat that into the skin. I do that gently because I don't want to irritate the skin, so I just make sure I pat that gently into the skin and let it dry before going in with the next product, which is my Rimmel London Stay Matte Primer. I make sure the skin is completely dry before doing that. So apply my primer. I'm using my brush to apply the primer. I just pat the primer in. When applying your primer, you don't want to drag. Don't drag because you have lots of products on the skin already. So when you drag, it's just going to be peeling off. So just dab your primer into the skin. After doing that, I'm going to be going into her skin with a foundation. This is my Nuban Beauty foundation. This is just her exact shade, her exact undertone. So I didn't have to mix the foundation. Oh, it's been a long time. I used just one foundation on the skin. I always mix up to 3 foundation. The least foundation I mix is usually 2. So this just really suits her skin, so I just went into it with my beauty sponge. Well, I apply first with a brush and just blend that in with my beauty sponge, but I just did that on the other side to deposit the product on the skin. But I'm just basically applying with my beauty sponge. This just works perfectly well for me because of course it's Nuban Beauty foundation and it's not like a matte foundation and not a completely full coverage foundation. It's a foundation that the coverage is buildable. You can build the coverage, so applying that with your beauty sponge works better. And of course we have to blend, like you have to blend like your life depends on it. Your foundation is the foundation for every other makeup to stay on, so you don't want to have like a rough foundation. It's called a foundation for a reason, right? So it's a foundation for every other product to stay on, so you have to get it right. So for blush, I'm going to be using these 2 lipstick I just showed in this video. I mixed the 2, the Avon lipstick, that's like the orange or red lipstick. I don't really know what color that is, but I mixed it with the pink from my Eye Magic blush palette. So I applied that on where I need to blush and take the excesses on her nose and also the excess on her forehead area, just to, give me a little bit of color. So to contour her skin, I went into with my Younger Beauty concealer. This is like the SMC6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, SMC6. This is like the darkest shade of the Younger Beauty concealer, and this works perfectly well for me on her skin. So what I'm basically doing is just contouring her skin and taking off her scarf just for my concealer, for contouring to get to the hairline. So at the end of the day, we don't have like a demarcation. So when I contour, I like to take my contour product high, because when I'm blending, then I take the excesses around to the other part of the face, but I place it high. Like, I like contouring high. Yeah, you understand that, right? So the next, after contouring and making sure it's well blended, is to highlight her face. Doing that, I'm using my Nuban Beauty concealer, mixing it with the Elegir concealer in Fawn. This is because the Elegir concealer in Fawn has like a perfect undertone which is her perfect undertone. This LA Girl concealer, especially in the shade Fawn. This is an OG. Like, who doesn't own this concealer? You should own this concealer. Make sure you have this concealer in your kit, because this concealer, the undertone is amazing, the coverage is amazing, the consistency, oh, this is just, it's called an OG for a reason, right? So I applied my concealer in a triangle form because I want to give the face like a perfect lift. You don't just take concealer all over your face. Don't just take products all over your face without a purpose. Make sure it has a purpose and arrange and organize. Trust me, guys. So I started blending from her chin, then went ahead to blend under her nose, then her forehead, then the bridge of her nose. Usually when I use only Nuban Beauty concealer, I blend as I go, but because I mixed it with the LA Girl concealer, I want it to get tacky a little bit, especially under the eyes, before blending the concealer. So once I'm satisfied with how tacky it has gotten, then I go ahead to blend. This is going to give me like a full coverage and a very smooth blend. So doing that, I start from the sides of her nose and take it to the outer corner of her eyes, giving the face like the perfect lift. Just see what it did to the face. It just gave this face like a lift. This is perfect. Blend your concealer high, apply your concealer in a triangle form. So I'm just basically taking the excesses under her nose area and above her mouth, because of course we want that part also highlighted. So because the contour and the concealer kind of reduce the intensity of my blush, so I'm just going in with excesses from the blush I scooped out before, just to increase the intensity of the blush, basically. Yeah, you got that right. So to set her under eyes, I'm setting her with the pressed powder. Guys, set your under eyes with pressed powder first. It gives your under eyes like a flawless finish, like no creasing, especially if you're using a translucent powder. So I set with a pressed powder first, using my fluffy brush, and went ahead into it with like a smaller blending brush, so this can get into the corners of her nose. I'm doing the same thing on the other part. So the smaller blending brush is going to help me get into the corner of her nose. So I'm setting every part of the face where I highlighted before going into it with my setting powder. So doing that, I'm using my setting powder, my Nuban Beauty setting powder in, I think this is in the shade Curry. Am I right? Or Mustard? Okay, I'm going to check and just leave it in the description box. So I just blend again before placing anything under the eyes. Guys, make sure you blend to avoid creasing. So I just blend again. Went ahead. When I pick my setting powder or my translucent powder, I make sure I dust out the excesses, because I don't want to pack products. It's a translucent powder, so packing products on the face, there's honestly no point, and it's just going to dry out your makeup, even in as much as you're trying to like create like a control the oil on her skin and all that. I still don't want my makeup looking dry. I love seeing my makeup looking alive. This makeup, it's not going to be dry, but it's going to last on her skin. She's going to carry it for as long as she wants to carry it, but still the skin prep I did is going to control the oil for a while on her skin, like for 12 hours. Trust me, it's going to control the oil. The oil is going at some point the oil will come out, but her makeup will still be intact. So to give the face a lift, I'm applying powder on the corners of her mouth, just to give the face a lift. So to contour her nose, I'm contouring with a powder. In this video I used my Nuban Beauty pressed powder. This is in the shade this is number 7, I guess. Then I'm using number 9 to intensify the contour on her face. I don't like going into the nose area, like the nose contour, with a very dark contour, with a very dark product for contouring. I just don't like it. I like the nose still giving that natural look. So I use like a darker shade to contour the sides, like her cheekbone. Then I go ahead to, use the shade close to her exact shade to contour the sides of her nose, like not her cheekbone, the hollows of the cheek. I made mistake with that. So I'm just going into all over her face with my Melanin compact pressed powder in Warm. This is in the shade Warm. Yeah, this is in the shade Warm. So for her eyes, I did her eyeshadow before her brow, so I'm using my Tara eyeshadow base to apply on her eyelid. I make sure my base is well blended. Then I go ahead to just darken the outer corner of the eyes, then go into the crease with this shade of orange. This is like a very dark shade of orange. It looks like red from this video, but trust me guys, this is orange. It was orange I picked from the palette. I don't know why it's looking like red, but this is orange. So I make sure I blend properly, because blend, 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 blend. Eyeshadow has to be blended. Don't want to see any demarcation. So I keep going in with the orange and the dark brown, because I just want it to be well blended. So once it's well blended to my satisfaction, I just take the excesses just to give the face a little, just to give the eyes a little, basically like this smoky cat eye look. So I just blend that into the crease to make sure there is no demarcation. Like, make sure there is no demarcation, guys. So I'm going to be using pink eyeshadow on the eyelid, but before that, I'm going to be using a powder just to blend out the demarcation between the brow bone, the side of her nose, and the crease. This is just to like demarcate it, make sure there is no demarcation. So this is what I'm going to be using on the lid. When you're using like a pigmented shimmery eyeshadow, use a synthetic brush and just drag it, apply pressure. This part, I give you a free pass to apply pressure. You know, I always say don't apply pressure when doing your makeup. Apply pressure, but please don't injure your client or your model. So I'm just going to use like a dark brown to just, you know, blend, basically just blend, 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 blend. And to smudge under her eyes, I'm using the dark brown I use on the outer corner of the eyes to smudge under the eyes. When you're creating like a smoky eye look, I always say this in all my video, please smudge under the eyes. It gives it like a very balanced feel. So for more shine, I went into my Inglot glitter. This is in the shade number 56. It's called the Body Sparkle. This is shade number 56. So I'm lining her eyes with my Beyond Beauty gel liner. I didn't show the Beyond Beauty gel liner in this video because there's no point, because this is what I use for all my videos. So if you are new to my channel, this is the time to subscribe and check my other videos as well. So this is the first time I did, like in a very long time, I did brows after eyeshadow. I just wanted to like try it, because I feel like, okay, let me just change, you know, yeah, the other way around works for me, but let me just try this other way. And it worked, and I loved it. And this is what I do recently now. This is what I do now. For the meantime, this is what is working for me. Let me say, this is what is reigning for me. So until I feel like I'm done with that, this is what we're going to be having on this channel: brows after eyeshadow, guys. So I just carefully line the brows, because you don't want to play around with the brows at this point, because you can't really correct it at this point. So make sure, if you are not sure of doing your brows without playing around and cleaning and over cleaning, please do your brows before your skin work. So I'm using my Beyond Beauty gel liner to line her waterline, and now I'm trying to just clean like excesses from the brows. I had like little or no concealer on my brush. Guys, don't pack products, don't pack concealer at this point. Don't pack concealer, because you're going to ruin your brows and your eyeshadow, and your makeup is going to be looking messy. Imagine this beautiful look sitting in front of us, and we have like excess concealer flying around. It's not even going to turn out nice at all. So I'm just connecting under her eyes to the top of her eyes, like basically connecting the outer corner of the eyes. Now, before I apply my false lashes, I'm going to use my Wing Beauty mascara to add volume to her lashes, and also take out the excess fallout from the eyeshadow on the lashes. So I'm just basically trying to blend everything in together. I'm using my powder brush to just seal everything together. I'm blending under the eyes with a small brush using my powder, but I'm not picking so much product. I'm just thinking like, I had like little or no product on this brush, guys. Trust me, you don't want to pack so much product on the skin. Now, time for the lips. You guys know me, I always don't know what to do on the lips. Like, I have just this one brown lip and the nude inside, the pink vibe. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just feel like the whole plaintive lips drama thing is not for me, but I try to switch this up a little. So I apply the nude inside. This nude is a bit whitish, so what I'm just doing, like blending, 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 blend. And I went ahead with my concealer on top of the lip, just to give it like a more neutral color. Then after doing that, I went ahead to spray her face with my Nuban Beauty setting spray. I always use Nuban Beauty setting spray, because this brings the makeup together and make it into one layer. So I let it dry, then seal that in with my beauty blender. Now I'm going to be intensifying the blush on her skin, just to give us this more creamy feel. So I'm using the color from this My Tehila Beauty blush look highlighter palette in the shade Chewy, just to add little, and also excesses around her face just to give me color. So I'm mixing these two shades, the Fantasy and the other shade. I didn't really get that as my highlighter on the skin. I apply very little quantity, guys. Apply very little because she's already glowing. So packing highlighter on the face is just going to be so much. So this is the So Pro Body Sparkle. This has like a pink shade. It's like a pink shade. So I just apply that little on the skin. You can see it's not showing, but guys, trust me, it was showing. So to intensify the inner corner of her eyes, I just place a little bit of that So Pro Body Sparkle on it and see what it's giving, guys. Like, it just elevated this eye look. So to add volume to her lower lashes, I'm using my Wing Beauty mascara, and now to gloss her lip, I'm using my Classic lip gloss. One thing Classic is going to do is give you a perfect lip gloss. Classic and Perfect Lippy, no, they are good. Then now to seal her makeup, I'm using my So Pro Seal It Spray to seal her makeup, and this is what this makeup gave. So I'm just trying to just blend her hairline as I took out the scarf. So I'm just making sure like her hairline is properly blended. I don't want to have any demarcation. And guys, this is the finished look. This look is giving, whoa, like this look is giving what it should give and more. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please give it a very big thumbs up if you do. Subscribe to my channel if you're here to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.